Hey, hey, boss. Hey, how are you today? It's your girl, Shonda Henry here, aka Sister Sense. Always excited to share things you can do to work on your money, marketing, and sales goals too, with strategy and intention. So, today, what I'm going to do is to switch up my regularly scheduled programming, right? Always about the money, marketing, and sales, but the inspiration, motivation needs to be in there too. So, what I wanted to do was today talk to you about blocks and understanding what it means when you feel blocked and blessed. You're looking for business, but also looking for balance, and all of those B's rolled into one. So, I feel like this is an interesting time, and I'm not going to be on here for too long, but I just kind of wanted to open up this conversation if you felt any of these things, especially for those of you who are like myself, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, looking to hashtag business as usual, looking to start and grow, looking to get clear about your next best step. The reality is, we have some crazy times right now. Times that honestly cause us to go outside and question everything that we see, whether we think it's a CON conspiracy or not. Our reality is just freaking weird, right? So it's draining. It's mentally draining. Some of us are working more than we did before. Some of us are not working as much as we used to. Some of us are trying to figure out how to make this new thing work because, to be honest with you, babies still need to be fed and bills still need to be paid, right? So finding a way to get unblocked when you feel blocked and you feel drained, finding a way to still bring in business, finding a way to bring in that balance and the blessings too. That's basically what I want to talk about with you. I consider myself to be blessed because even under these situations, under these times of uncertainty and stress, I can say that my immediate family is healthy and safe, and we're doing what we need to do to stay healthy and safe. I still have all of these unfortunate situations where I'm hearing stories about people who I know from afar, people who I've known closely, struggling with overcoming COVID or any degree of that, and that's a struggle, right? That's a challenge, but being able to say, I'm okay, my immediate family is okay, we're still okay. And I'm so saddened by what I see, and I support the close ones, the loved ones, the families who are going things immediately that I'm not going through, right? Seeing things from afar and understanding what it means to have. Now, as you can see, I don't wear makeup and I don't have nails, but you know, people having, privileged feelings of not being able to do the things that they want to do, right? And that being the worst of it, that being okay. How do you consider yourself to be blessed today, right? Regardless of everything that's crazy that's going on right now, are you feeling both blessed because you're here, your family is here, your immediate needs are taken care of, but are you feeling blocked? Are you feeling exhausted, like dripping with I can't do this today feelings, right? And I wanted you to know that number one, it's okay. And number two, I wanted to share a few practical things that I'm doing because honestly, today is Wednesday and I was on calls with clients all day, and just trying to help people navigate building their businesses, getting unblocked, finding balance, kind of motivated me to come on here and talk to you, and maybe share a few things that might be helpful to you. Hey, Tina, welcome, welcome. Hey, that's the most important thing. You are safe. Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got to dig into making sure that we're aware that we are provided for, and our essentials needs for ourselves and our families are taken care of. And at the same time, we have to, in addition to acknowledging our blessings, understand that breaks are important. One of my favorite sayings is you got to break before broken. Who needs a break right now? Who needs a break? I had three clarity calls today, and all of them were actually in the later part of the afternoon. And so while I didn't necessarily plan on it this morning, I took a couple of hours just to mental break because hell, I needed it. Just needed it. I went out to get a few essentials, and at a local neighborhood Walmart, they have just like this huge image of a graphic of a person with a mask on, and they're like, we recommend that everyone who comes into the store has a mask, and that wasn't there before. And it feels like every week there's something a little bit more that's changing, right? Being able to go into stores, to now having some stores have tape around them, to having some stores say only 20 people at a time, to having requirements of you must come in and have a mask, and if you don't have a mask you can't come. Like every week it's something different. So honestly, it's okay to feel blocked. It's okay to feel drained. And if you need a freaking break, take one, right? Take a break before you're broken. And this to me is something significant for type A, any type A folks out there that you just like, regardless, I just got a lot that I need to do. I was hyper vigilant. Like when this whole thing started, I need to make sure that I was here for my community, for my immediate family. I needed to rally all my people together. I've been doing virtual summits and creating more and more experiences for my tribe than I normally do. And honestly, some of that is mentally exhausting for me. Some of that is me saying unapologetically today, if I just need to take a few hours and decompress, I need to take a few hours and freaking decompress. I was in a space where I was talking to a client today, and she said, you know what, there's so many things that I plan to do at this point, and I'm working more hours in my full time. I don't, I mean, my business is my primary business, but I do work with 9 to 5 entrepreneurs. Some of you guys are not quite where you want to be, but honestly, now your job is giving you even more that you have to do. And because you're at home, it means that you're in that remote space and you're trying to find balance between doing more at work plus wanting to do more in your business too, right? I don't know if that resonates with any of you. The reality is that we have to make sure that we break before broken. I don't know what that means to you right now, what it means to you to take a break, to sit down, to decompress, to relax. That's number one. Number two, I believe in WWW, work what works. And I say that to say, for those of you who you have products and packages and services that have worked and sold for you, can you dig into selling that stuff and serving your audience and maybe changing your marketing messages slightly, but promoting that? And why am I saying that? Because as entrepreneurial spirits, as people who are always driven, we always have these great ideas of new good that we want to produce. Hey, awesome to have my girl April in the building. Hey, so good to see you here. But for real, for real, for real, how often can you come up with something new to the point where you're exhausted and you about to break you? And I'm saying that to those of you who feel bad and you feel guilty because you're not in a space where you have mentally carved out enough time to do 15 other new things. If you have products, services, things that are selling for you, can you dig into that? Can you share more of that? Sometimes we feel compelled to do something new because we feel like what we've said is tired and old and everybody's heard it. But baby, unless you can claim that you've gotten billions of people in your community, it's okay to repeat. It's okay to say it again, sell it again, promote it again because it worked. So WWW, work what worked. For those of you who are feeling blocked, for those of you who are feeling guilty because you can't innovate and create something new right now, the best thing that you can do right now is to serve your community by giving them the best that you've already produced, right? I was talking to a client today and she said, yeah, I sold a couple of things, but I also wanted to create this and this and this and haven't been able to do that. And I'm like, you're working more hours, you're doing more stuff, you're trying to process all of the new that happens to us when we go outside of our doors and we face this new reality with uncertainty. It's a mentally draining thing. So if you do want to maintain and sustain what you've already established, some of that is going to require you to pull back, right? Just being honest. And another thing that I want you to do is I want you to think about, if you do want to create new, can you feed what feeds you? Can you do that? Can you feed what feeds you? So, as opposed to beating yourself up because you're trying to produce these new things that honestly you don't have the energy or the mentally, like you just can't process how to mentally create this new thing. And it's so exhausting to you outside of everything else that you have to do. Can you just focus on doing the things, creating the things, building the things that genuinely feed your spirit? Right now, working with people, creating things for people that feed you in a way that is helping you sustain and maintain. Those are a few things I want you to think about doing. Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here, y'all, for popping in, just so that I can jump on here and share. Really, at the end of the day, I believe that we're able to say we're here, we're alive, we're breathing, we're good, our families are good, we're blessed, right? Even if some of the circumstances are not quite what we want them to be, acknowledge your blessings today. Feel free, whether you're watching live or via the replay, just to pop in and say, "This is how I know I'm blessed." Number one. Number two, if you're feeling blocked, understand that you need to give yourself the grace and the space to be blocked, because right now is mentally draining for us in a lot of ways. So break before broken. Take those breaks as needed. If you do have an established business, at the end of the day, the best thing that you can do is to continue to WWW, work what works. Put out those things that are working for you. Don't try to work too hard to overly exhaust yourself if you're already exhausted. Work with what is working for you and working for your tribe. And if you are going to innovate and create new things, create from a space of feeding what feeds you, right? I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase to starve your fears and feed your focus, right? Those things that you know, honestly, you're genuinely in your gut. You got to have, honestly, you've got to become a little bit more in tune and self-aware into what feeds you and makes you feel like you're living in your purpose and you're helping the people the way you need to. Like this, doing this today fed me. I could have talked about marketing and sales and something that I was selling, but me coming on in here and talking to you about blocks, blessings, breaks, and balance, that fed me. And hopefully this is helpful to somebody. Feed what feeds you. Okay. You got to be a little bit more self aware and tuned to you to understand what that is. And at the end of the day, if you are trying to start and grow your business, as you're putting out there the things that feed you, the things that you feel really compelled and passionate about, you share with people how those things are connected to offers that you've created. Right. Way back in the day when I started, I was just mainly building websites and doing graphics. And so I would come on and I would share, not on here, but back in the day on like MySpace or, old, Yahoo groups and forums. I know I'm dated. I've been doing this for a while, but going on and saying, here are some banners that I did. Here are some graphics that I did. Here's a new website that I did, sharing examples of my work. And so even times I come on here and I'm doing a live stream, I'll say, hey, by the way, it was Wednesday. I did calls today. If you want to do a clarity call with me, go to callme.sistasense.com, because guess what? This is what I did with clients today. Literally what inspired me to do this session was the reality that I did talk to clients today about some of them feeling blocked or feeling bad because they're exhausted and there's so many things going on in their lives that they don't have enough time to do the things that they wanted to do for their business, or the business is stalled because so many things are changing right now. That motivated me to come on here and talk to you. Right. But being in that space at the same time, I can say to you, if you ever wanted to talk to me, you can go to callme.sistasense.com. Right. So that's something that I want you to think about. If you are trying to figure out how to start and grow your business, can you start with feeding what feeds you, producing at least one or two real products, and then talking about those products, sharing those products, giving examples of those products, living the product. I was just on the phone with a client who, she is a nutritionist, really focused on helping people get healthy, specifically when it comes to plant-based, regimens, and integrating more plant-based recipes into their diet. I mean, that's her wheelhouse, so she knows how to describe it better than me, right? But my goal is to share with her what I'm sharing with you. Be more of what you want to share as a business owner. Share more of that lifestyle, your plant-based lifestyle, what you do, how you eat, how you run your day, how you balance, being high energy, or how you work through being exhausted, giving people more of you if you want more people to get excited about what it is that you do and what it is that you share. So, I mean, just real talk for those of you here, feed what feeds you, number one. And I bet one of the solid things that you can do to start and grow is to simply get into a space where you stop pondering, how can I create the perfect product? How can I figure out the best person to reach? The majority of this is not going to happen without you testing, without you just putting it out there, seeing how it works, and, working through it as you go through it, right? So give yourself some grace and space. If you do need to take mental breaks, take them. Understanding that if you do have some things that are established and working for you in your business, do those things more so that you can give yourself the grace and space of not trying to figure out all of pieces that are new, especially if those new things to figure out are exhausting for you. WWW, work what works. But if you're new to the game and you don't quite have anything that's working for you, then really just simply focus on feeding what feeds you, feeding the things that ultimately you say right now, not forever, ever, but right now, I feel called to create this. I feel called to share this, and just see where that takes you, right? Share it, create it, do it with the best, purest of intentions. And you never know where you'll go in that space. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I encourage you to do what you need to do to power through. You met me on Ning. Yeah, I know the BBWO network, one of my many Ning network communities. Always, always, always a pleasure for me to jump on here and share on any platform. And I love to hear how you guys found me or how you met me. Because again, my goal is, whether or not today is crazy or not, I'm going to show up in some way, just to say hey and motivate you to do what you need to do to power through for you, your tribe, and your community. People are waiting for you to show up, but don't show up in a way where you feel compelled to give more of yourself than you have, or to create new when you have no idea what that is supposed to look like. Right? Make sure that you fill and fuel you up and you have enough in you to give to others too. So, all right, y'all, back to the regularly scheduled program tomorrow, as I continue to share different things that you need to consider when it comes to working on your 5-figure goals. Yesterday, I talked about your product goals. The day before that, I talked about revenue goals. So feel free to watch my previous web classes. Really, right now, when it comes to working with you, outside of what I do with my one-on-one calls on Wednesdays, I have the mastermind. This month in the mastermind, I'm talking about how to lead with lives and teaching people how to use live streams like I do. And of course, I do have the new 5-figure focus program, so I can talk to you about working on your products, your processes, and your promotions too, so that you can work on your 5-figure goals, whether it be you trying to figure out how to make 5 figures realistically in a year, or in a quarter, or every month. So those are just a few things that I'm working on right now for you. You can learn more about the 5-figure focus program over at sistasense.com/5. And of course, you can always check in with me if you want to talk with me privately by emailing sistasense@gmail.com. So can't go wrong wherever you find me. Just find a way to check in. Let me know what you need, and I'll do my best to support you and point you in the right direction. So, all right, y'all, I said it in the beginning, and I'm going to say it again. We blessed. So you breathing right now, you got your family around you, your friends, or if you can even just got virtual people around you. We together alone, right? Find a way to identify your blessings right now. If you blocked, it's okay. Take a break so that you will not be broken. Them breaks are very necessary, baby. And balance out what works for you. Just keep doing them things that work for you. Feed what feeds you. And consistently, if you're trying to bring in business, baby, the best way to do that is to be you. Put out what you're doing, what you love to do, who you're working with, and how that's working for you. That's been working for me. Just complete transparency. Okay. That brings in that consistency. So, alrighty, my dears, hopefully that helps somebody out there. Till tomorrow, take care. Mwah.